So I wanted to take a second and basically pass along a lessons learned. So this is my Pixel controller box, the first one I built. As you guys can see here, there is a power supply. It's got a whole bunch of goodies plugged up to it. It actually had a lot more than this, but what happened was after about 2 years, this thing just kind of started tripping the breaker in the house, and so we were trying to troubleshoot it. I took a bunch of stuff out, checked all my wiring to make sure there wasn't any shorts, could not figure it out. So a couple of days went by, and then it hit me that I'd had this exact same issue happen with other power supplies, and the solution was to basically take that little M3 bolt, I believe it is, back that thing out, because if you tighten the wrong length fastener too far into the actual power supply housing, it can cause the power supply to short, and so that will trip your breaker in your house. And so, I've had that issue happen 3 times total, this one included. Just didn't occur to me right off the bat that those were the issue. But once it hit me, I came in here and checked and saw that I had those screws indeed all the way in. I backed them out and tried it again, and everything works now. So I just wanted to pass along that lessons learned. I'll show you guys really quickly what this thing looks like when the actual power supply is taken apart, so you guys can actually have a little bit better look at what I'm talking about. So here we have a couple of power supplies. If any of you build your own controllers at home or do anything on your own, don't buy the pre-made kits, then this should look pretty familiar to you. So what I've done here is I've taken a 12-volt power supply. I've taken the top off, but what I've left in its place is I've left a very common setup that a lot of you will probably have on yours, which is when you're actually trying to stack power supplies. Let's see if I get this back in here. When you're actually trying to stack power supplies, this attachment is great to allow you to take this one, for example, even though this is a 5-volt, just for reference. What you could do is you could take this one, put it on top, and it's got places for you to mount it on top, so you can double stack these power supplies. I've got another controller out in the yard that I do that to, and it works perfectly well. But the issue that I actually wanted to show you guys is, if you look right here, I purposely left one of the screws that were, I think it's a little too long. It's probably, I don't know, maybe it's an 8mm. Well, I say it's too long. Let me back up for a second. So this particular screw is a very common one that I have a lot of them, and I think a lot of you guys will have some of these as well. But this is more of a panhead type screw, even though it's 8mm. Now here's an 8mm. Here's another 8mm. And this one is a socket head. So what I actually just found out while getting ready to show you guys this was this one is an 8mm, but you can see how it actually goes into the housing. But if you move away from the pan head 8mm and you go to this other socket head 8mm, you can see that it actually does not come into the housing, right? It's just flush. It's perfect. So I probably will be switching moving forward, and anytime I actually do any type of attachments to power supplies, I probably will be using these socket these socket head screws. I mean, these things are just great. They're not really expensive, so you can get them on Amazon all day. So I'll probably just be using these moving forward. No need to go this flush route, which I was previously using. That was just giving me issues. So just wanted to show you guys what the inside of this looks like whenever y'all are actually attaching things to the outside, such as on this 5-volt. I've just put over the top of it a smart receivers, because this also is a very common setup. But just a reminder to everybody, make sure that you get the right millimeter length for your screw, because in my case, I've had these things just short and trip the breakers in the house. And so, like I said, this has been my third time that this has happened over the last 3 years. And so, um, couldn't really find a lot of information, a lot of people talking about that, about, you know, specifically the issue of the screw causing, you know, causing the power supply to short if it comes into the housing. But I think I eventually found one website where they mentioned something about that. Even though when I took this off and I checked this, even though the screw had gone into the housing, it wasn't touching anything. I checked it on either of the side, on all four sides. The screw was never touching anything. But you know, I'm not an electrician by any means. So this, working with low voltage and things like that is just kind of picking it up as I go, like most of you. So, all I can say is that that has been the solution. The 3 times that I've had issues with power supplies causing things to trip is backing those screws out, and not having a single issue. But you can obviously solve that by just getting the right length of screw. And in this case, this, you know, 8 mm socket head is just working wonders. So just figured I'd share with you guys. Thanks.